Hey y'all, it's me, Reborn Taddy. So as you see, we have a change of background here today. I know that this has been a long overdue request here. You guys hear Bug in the background. My parrot, Bug, he's very excited because he can hear me like speaking and talking in the kitchen because his room is like right at the end of the little hallway right here to the kitchen. So I wanted to get on here and I wanted to do a kind of little cooking segment, if you will. Today we're going to just be making some salsa. Very simple salsa. Just want that craving of chips and salsa, maybe a snack, maybe you're watching a movie, maybe, you know, you're partaking in adult activities, you know, whatever that may be. You want a snack. So before we begin, I wanted to take a shot with you guys before, you know, we make some salsa. So I'm going to show you guys a really quick and easy, really good shot. If you guys are drinkers or not, I don't know. You know, if you're drinkers, you're smokers, you're doing whatever it is that you're doing. So right here, we're going to go ahead, and this is freezer chilled. So we're going to go ahead and put this in first. So this is a limoncello, and it's very, very sweet. But again, this shot that I'm making, it's going to be more of like a bomb pop type style shot. And I have my little shot glass here. It's Yeti style, you know, kind of got this. So we're going to go ahead and start. I usually start with the limoncello first. And you can kind of put as much or as little as you want. I'm just going to do a little shot. Reminder, this is an adult channel, you know, not for kids, children. Next thing I'm going to put in there is this blue Curaçao. So we got some blue Curaçao up in there. And when you're filling it up, I'll show you about the measurements per this little shot glass. So I did about like this much of the limoncello, because I'm not going to fill up this whole thing as like one full shot. Because again, like I said, I'm going to take a little bit at a time. So the blue Curaçao, your main is the lemon. Then you want like, so if you do it overall, if you're looking in parts and measurements, you kind of want to do maybe about like this much of the limoncello. And then you have about this much of the blue Curaçao. And then you can have a little bit of the last ingredient, which is going to be just your classic grenadine. It's just classic grenadine syrup. Obviously, this is not alcoholic, but this is going to give it the taste of it being like a little bomb pop shot. And let me tell you what, when that is nice and cooled, it's delicious. I don't have a, you know, I don't have a clear shot glass to show you guys what this looks like, but when you pour it correctly, you can actually see the different layers of like the yellow, the blue, and the red, which is cool, you know, just for aesthetics wise. So this is, I'm going to bring you down. This is what our little shot looks like here. In there. Nice and like purpley bluey kinda. So yeah, you guys, so cheers. This is to our salsa video, if you will. So delicious. And you guys can really like, this is a nice summer type thing. Maybe if you guys wanted to do like more of a summery drink, you guys can add in all three of those ingredients and just get like a lime sherbet. Put a lime sherbet or some type of sherbet in there. Combine those. Mix it up with the, you know, straw and just sip on that as like a drink. And that is freaking delicious. So now, because we are going to be making the salsa, I'm going to start off by washing my hands first. I got my sink right on this other side of me. So I have a double sink on this side, so one side's garbage disposal, one side's not. I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands, getting this ready for the salsa. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy this. I am going to pair this. This is going to be just like the start of the video. And I'm actually going to add in and insert like a little change in song. So I'm going to get Lydia changed into something kind of for, you know, the month of February for some cute Valentine's something. Just something cute for Lydia, you know. So we'll change Lydia after we make the salsa. I'll merge those two together, if you will. And then we'll kind of go from there. So yeah, this is going to be exciting, you guys. It's my first kind of cooking thing. So the product that I'm going to be using to make the salsa is just a basic NutriBullet. Now you can use any fucking blender, any sort of thing that you really have to be mixing the salsa. You know, if you have to, dice that shit up. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you can do it the old-fashioned way where you're not blending it together or anything like that. But I will say, this saves extreme amount of time because this is such an easy thing to make. Like, salsa is an easy thing in general, but, you know, this is going to be fun, you guys. It's going to be fun. So, for the ingredients that we're going to need, I'm just grabbing a can over here. Tomato sauce. So, I like to be able to mix the ingredients that are going to be not as, like, this is all the fine stuff. So, all the fine stuff we're going to put in first with the sauce. Just because, again, it's going to make it be not so that you're not like pureeing everything all together. Because like I said, I'm just using the NutriBullet. You guys know these things, they don't have any like specific type of settings, like barely chop, a blend, all of that kind of stuff. It's not like that for these things. And this one, I forget. I don't think this one tells me how many ounces. This is the larger one of these. One of these containers. So this is the top to the NutriBullet, and again, like I said, we're gonna put in the wet, well, all the ingredients, but you know, we're gonna do all the fine ingredients first. And most people, they're like, what? Like Reborn Tatty tomato sauce for the salsa? But you have to remember, like, once this is refrigerated too, like, you can eat it straight out once it's made. But the tomato sauce actually helps kind of produce a little bit of a thicker texture for the salsa so that you don't have just this like super runny nonsense. So we're going to go ahead and get our sauce in there. And that's about how much of the tomato sauce, because, you know, we are going to add things like fresh ingredients that you see that we have in the background. So I'm going to do... Let's see, again, because this is stuff that you kind of want, that you want a little bit more finer blended. So like the garlic, and I'm going to do my best to kind of do measurements. This stuff I kind of usually just do, honestly, to taste. So, you know, it's not really ever a very specific amount, if you will. So it's just kind of to taste, and spoon measurements is usually what I use. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna have this. I have minced garlic, this like minced garlic here. We're just gonna go ahead and put 1 whole spoon in there of the garlic. It's just minced garlic, fresh minced garlic. So you can use however much you want. Because I also use garlic powder in the salsa, you know, I think that the 1 spoon of the fresh garlic is enough. But, you know, maybe you want it more garlicky, less, I don't know. You kind of do whatever you want for your kind of taste and testing. So, and that goes for like all of the dry ingredients that I'm going to kind of show you that I'm putting in there as well. So we want that kind of finely chopped. And I would probably say to go ahead and do the jalapeno as well. So you only need 1 jalapeno. So far we have the 1 can of tomato sauce, 1 spoon of garlic, 1 jalapeno, Now, it's up to you whether or not you want to include the seeds. If you include the seeds, it's going to be a little bit spicier, if you will, than if you don't. No, I don't recommend that you just put this whole jalapeno in your little blender thing, because you can, but in all honesty, it's better to kind of cut it up just a little bit, even if you just cut it in half. So what I just did is I just cut the, if you guys can see that, I just cut the top and the tip, just because, you know, sometimes those things, they have little wears on it, or, you know, you don't need the top in there for that. So this little jalapeno, we're going to go ahead and just cut it. I'd probably say let's just cut it in half, honestly. Just put it in half, and we're going to put it into the mixture. So we just, bloop. We're going to go ahead and plop that in there. And we're going to do our first round. So now that we have the jalapeno, the garlic, and the tomato sauce in there, we're going to go ahead and give it a nice little, quick little blend. I'm going to bring you guys down so that way you guys can see me using the NutriBullet. So you can see that. So I'm going to bring this kind of over here. Let's bring this up a little bit. Okay. There we go. So you just want to make sure that your lid is on nice and tight. And we're going to go ahead and just put it down just like this. And give it just a couple little loops and verbs. And voila. We got our pepper. You can see the jalapeno pepper. It's in there. Pretty good chunky, you know, it's not too finely blended, and you kind of want it like that because we're going to be blending the other ingredients in this. So you can see already this is what this is looking like. So now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put the other types of ingredients that we want, that we kind of want a little bit more chunky style. So, you know, we got the onion. Now, because I used half of the onion for the other salsa that I had make, you can use half of this onion. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm just basically going to cut this just in half. Now, you don't have to, you shouldn't have to use a cutting board if you're just putting it in just this container. But, you know, you can use a cutting board if you would like. So we have half an onion in there, and it's just a plain white onion, nothing super special. And then we're also going to be putting some cilantro in there. Let's bring you guys down a little bit so you guys can watch me. So we're going to put some cilantro in there. And again, kind of up to your preference of what you want. Now, because I'm going to, you know, like I'm doing this whole thing of salsa, I'm a pretty big fan of cilantro, so you see how much is in there right now. Yeah, that's probably good for the cilantro. Now, not everybody likes that much cilantro in their salsa, but again, that's when you're kind of making this thing to taste. I have a half a lime over here, so that is just really, that's going to be one part that goes in, but I'm probably going to end up needing another half a lime because you kind of want a whole lime. Now, you don't have to have it that limey. Again, we're talking about to taste, people. You know, you taste it, you figure out how you want it. My husband, he doesn't really like it too limey, so maybe I'll actually only go with the half a lime, because last time I did a full lime, and you know, he did say that it was kind of a little bit more limey than he would like. So we're going to go ahead and we'll just pop that into the, I kind of just put this can, I just set the can in there and like in the sink, and it's just got like the little ingredients, you know, that you're kind of throwing away. The tops for the jalapenos and that, you know, so. Alright, you guys, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to blend this because I want the tomatoes to kind of be like the chunkiest. So because I got lime hands, I'm just come over here. Just going to do a little rinsing. When I'm cooking, I do a lot of back and forth between, you know, rinsing and coming back to the food, just because I can't stand sensation-wise. Like, I'm not trying to get this all gooky and, you know, get everything into a mess. And then we're going to do the tomatoes and the dry ingredients kind of at the last. So now we're going to put that just in there. Bring our NutriBullet over. Make sure that that's tight enough on there. Give it a couple little blurbs. And give it a nice little shake. You can see in there it's kind of nice and chunky. So that's looking good. Let's see these little onion pieces. That's really what you're looking for right now, is the onion. So I think once it passes the last kind of cycle of going through there, it'll be perfect. You can smell that salsa. That's what it looks like right now. And now for our fresh tomatoes, you really only need, again, this is for this type of batch. So we're going to do 3 Roma tomatoes. So we're going to go ahead and come over here. I'm going to wash them and cut off kind of any little imperfection parts. You know, sometimes in the stores when they have like kind of, they have little, you know, imperfections and stuff like that. You can cut the little tops off the Roma tomatoes. You don't have to, because it's going to get blended. But again, I don't really want that piece in my salsa. Like, I don't need it in there. So why am I going to have it in there? So we're going to go ahead and just cut these off. And I'm going to give these a rinse under the water, because you should always wash your produce no matter what. Some people are like, well, I just freshly got this. And even if you pick something fresh out of a garden, you know, you really should wash your vegetables, if not just, and fruits, if not just underwater, but you can also spray them with vinegar. So if you wanted to spray them with vinegar, you totally can. So again, now we kind of got these, and we don't want to chop it up into a bunch of tiny pieces. But again, we're going to go ahead and just kind of cut that. We'll just do it in half. Doesn't need to be perfect, you know, but don't cut yourself. You know, if you need to just slice a little bit and then rip it apart, you could do that too. You know, you don't have to cut it like all the way through if you don't want to. You can just spin it around. That'll also cut it. So now we have our tomatoes in there. Perfect. And we're going to go ahead and put the dry ingredients aspect of that in there. Let me dry my hands off. Paper towel real quick again. I just don't like touching this stuff with, you know, wet hands. So we have just regular white salt. And again, this is kind of to taste, but because these things don't really have that much salt in it, you kind of want to put quite a bit of little salt. I'll show you guys the salt amount that I have in there right now. That's about the salt. And then we're going to do some garlic powder. That's what's in here, is garlic powder. And you guys can kind of see, again, kind of just mostly to taste. So I just have it. There's a garlic powder. I'm also going to put some onion powder in there. Now, because I know we have fresh garlic, we have fresh onion, but these powders, it just kind of gives it a little bit more of a seasoning flavor rather than just the freshness of it, if that makes sense. And then we have just regular black pepper, and we're going to go ahead and put in some black pepper, probably about that amount. All of them are very similar for the dry ingredients amounts. And then we're going to go ahead and top this off. Close it. Bam, just like that. We got our fresh tomatoes in there with the tomato sauce. You can use as many fresh tomatoes as you kind of want. That's up to personal preference. So you see me just kind of coming around and giving a nice little blend. And Give it a nice shake to really kind of get all the seasonings and everything kind of together. Bam. There we go. And we got your quick and easy salsa. So now that that's pretty much made, I'm going to go ahead and get a chip and we're going to test it, because that's how we're going to know to taste on whether or not we need to add maybe more salt, more lime. Just depends on kind of your taste and what you want. So I'm going to grab some chips right here. These are just basic, lightly salted tortilla chips. And grab one out of here. Just need a small little chip just to kind of taste test it. We're going to go ahead and show you like a close-up view. This is what the salsa looks like. I don't know, it's not really coming out as red as it actually is, but on the camera it looks like not as red. But again, once this sits in the fridge too, it's going to kind of thicken up a little bit. So let's test this and see what we're gonna need. Okay. So right off the bat, when I taste it, for my own taste, I need more garlic powder. And I think other than just needing a little bit more garlic powder, that's going to be really about it. And for my own personal preference, of course, I like it a little bit more limey. But guess what? I can always do 2 different portions in 2 different bowls, and I can cut up one of the other limes, and I can make it more limey for myself. But, you know, I'm not going to put more lime in this one. And we're done with the blending part of it. The cool thing about the NutriBullets is that they have these lids, because if you're doing like shakes or, you know, smoothies, something like that, you kind of have these lids for them. And we're going to go ahead and just put this on. Put this lid on, because I can put this whole thing in the fridge. And then I can just kind of pour it as to however I want it. So we're going to go ahead and give this a nice little bartender shake here. I'm holding the top of it so it's not, you know, going to spill out everywhere. This was just for us just to mix that garlic powder that I had in there. But you see what I mean? Like, if you did this all just fresh tomatoes, it would just be completely runny, like so watery runny. And the tomato sauce really adds a little bit more of a tomato base. You probably could even use like a tomato paste if you didn't have a tomato sauce. If you want to do more fresh tomatoes and you want to just use a paste just to thicken it up, you could do that too. So, but there we go, you guys. There's the salsa. And now that we kind of got that in there, we take this little bowl, and I'm going to go and take some of this to my husband, because I know he's been waiting for it. I mean, he just had some like the other day. It's not that he's been waiting for long, okay, guys, but still. So you just take that, pour it directly from that little spout, kind of just ploop it, and it goes. Perfect. And there we go. There is our salsa. All nice and beautiful. Let's go ahead and we'll put a little cute decor. There we go. I'll go ahead and use this as a thumbnail. But there's a salsa. Nice, easy, simple snack. And you can't beat it. I'm telling you what, you want it hotter? Put a habanero in there. Put a serrano in there. However you want it for the heat. My husband can't handle spicy stuff, so we don't really do too much heat. So that's why we really only do like a jalapeno here and there, you know? So, but yeah, you guys, there's my salsa. And I hope you guys enjoyed this and making salsa with me, taking a shot, doing this thing. And I'm going to attach after this, I'm going to put Lydia's little changing video. We'll just have a little nice outro where it'll just be some music and I'm just getting Lydia dressed. So yeah, thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time.